into your business and it's going out is literally the oxygen. You run out of oxygen, you're dead.
Hello you guys, welcome back
to another video.
If you guys are new here, my name is Brandy.
And I'm Josh.
And our videos are mostly around freelance, hence the name Freelance TV, entrepreneurship, working remote, and a little bit on software development since we do all the above.
Yep.
And today is a question like last video that we get asked is when should you start freelancing, or how do you know it's time to jump into the world of freelance?
Yep. You might be sitting in your job just counting down the days till you can quit so that you can go full-time freelancing. And freelancing is really like your own business. And so what would be the very first thing, number one, for figuring out when it's time to go freelance?
First, you need to figure out your expenses. Oftentimes, if you're working at a job, you're probably not super tedious with how much you're spending when you're going out.
Because you know your paycheck's
Coffees.
coming in every single 2 weeks or at the end of the month or whenever you get paid.
So the first thing you need to do is figure out how much money is actually going out every month to, you know, your rent or your mortgage or your utilities, insurance, car payments, phone, all that sort of stuff.
Taxes for sure, because now that's on you.
Yep.
It's not going to be automatically taken out for you.
So that's the first thing. So first, figure out your expenses. The second thing is
cut them. Cut your expenses back as much as you possibly can. Figure out where there's extra fluff that you can reduce to eliminate your monthly overhead as much as possible.
And one of the ways to really cut back, or to, you know, once you look at your expenses and cut back, is make a budget.
Yes.
That's one of the easiest things. We do it. We try to stick to it as close as we can. We're pretty good at it.
Yeah.
But that's like a food budget, a going out budget, all that sort of stuff.
We're very frugal anyways. When you're going, just like when you're starting your own business and you're going freelancing full-time, again, freelancing is a one-person business. And so you need to live as frugally as possible because you always have grandeur vision about how much money you're going to make. But even if you make that money, it doesn't mean you're always going to be making that money. There's always ups and downs when it comes to freelance. So by cutting back your expenses, living frugally, you're setting yourself up in a position to be able to make that jump. One, faster, and also prepare yourself for potential ups and downs in income.
Because clients, just like anything, like a job is never 100% guaranteed. Clients are never guaranteed, and oftentimes when you are the contractor at a company or for a small business, you're gonna be the first one to be cut.
Yep.
Especially when, you know, the economy gets tight or their budget gets tight, which always happens. It seems to happen every year at the beginning of the year, first quarter. People start cutting back on budgets. So that's something to really keep in mind, especially as we're coming to an end of this year, going into next year. Make sure that you have that little nest egg.
When you're freelancing, you don't want to live paycheck to paycheck.
No.
You actually need to put money aside, just like she said, because there may be a month or two where you don't have clients and you actually have to live off the reserve you built. So that's a big thing of why you need to live minimally, so you can actually put money aside for when you have that low in your income period, when you're trying to get a new client or
And one of
anything.
the benefits of doing that, and I know a lot of you guys that watch our videos are software developers, and you guys have these dreams of starting your own product like Josh did, you know, or actually having your own company. One of the best ways to fund that is through freelance. And I know Josh and I've touched on this 100 times. That's how Josh funds his business, and that's how I fund my business. But it really is an important concept to grasp, and by creating your own personal budget will also help like bleed into how you do that for your business.
Yeah, personal finance is a discipline, and so if you are horrible at personal finance for yourself, probably going to be pretty bad at it with your business, and the money that you're bringing into your business and it's going out is literally the oxygen. You run out of oxygen, you're dead. So it's very important to, again, reduce the overhead, watch your money, create your budget, know exactly how much money you need to spend, what you don't need to be spending, and figure all that out ahead of time before you make the jump, or else you're going to find yourself in a little kind of oh crap moment at some point if you don't figure that out.
And then of course, you want to have a client or two, or maybe three, lined up before you actually quit your job.
Yes.
You want to have, when I already had somebody that I was working for while I was working at my job. I already had, did my trial period with them.
Yep.
And so I knew that it was going to be okay when I left my job to continue freelancing.
And that's literally the same exact thing happened with me. We actually, before quitting my job full time, I actually had enough money coming in every month from a side project, freelancing, that I could replace my income. And one thing that actually happened that was really cool is because I had built a great relationship with the company I was at, they actually, when I left, became a client as well, because they wanted to continue working with me and I wanted to continue working with them. So it worked out great. So I actually, when leaving, I had 3 clients before quitting my job full time, 2 to start and then 3 when I left and they had it. So make sure the money's there. Yeah, that's kind of a myth. You don't have to quit your job in order to start freelancing.
No, you should be doing it. You should be doing it while you have, if you really want to get into it, to know if you like it, because freelancing isn't just on your own doing whatever you want. You still report to somebody.
Yep.
You still communicate with a team. You actually have to communicate more.
Yep.
And really thoroughly explain that you understand something, or you're able to get the work done because you're still working for somebody.
And this is not to deter anybody from freelancing, but freelancing is harder than having just a normal job.
Yeah,
So
I would
it is a
agree.
lot harder. You have more freedom and flexibility, which is valuable in and of itself.
You have freedom and flexibility to work where you want.
Yes.
Oftentimes, when is also dictated by the client.
Very true.
Not all the time, but oftentimes you need to be on their business hours, depending on your client.
And some clients may even want you to come into their office a day or 2 a week. It's not to deter anybody, but just be aware that if you think that freelancing is going to be a vacation, you're going to be rudely awakened. It has amazing value in and of itself. You could potentially make even more money than you make now, but just be aware that it is not a vacation. It is something that you need to be prepared for. You need to treat it like a business. You're going to have to find clients. You're going to need to know whether you actually want to do this or not. So by finding your first couple clients, you'll actually get a taste for it before you make the jump, right? Because you can technically freelance still a side hustle while you're working at a job, and that's going to give you the realistic vision of what this is like. Because you might do it and be like, I hate working with clients. I'd rather just keep my job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody's different.
Right. So figure it out for yourself. Make sure you know this is something you want to do. But if it is, then awesome. Then definitely do these 3 things we said.
Because those are kind of the core fundamentals to get you into the world of freelance, to actually make that leap.
Yes.
Make sure your finances are in order. Make sure you understand taxes. Like the little things. Have an accountant. We have an accountant that saved us so much money this year. Obviously, it costs money to have him, but they're smarter than us. They know more about taxes. They know more about where we can save money.
Yep.
All those types of things. So, make sure you look into those things. Look into cost of all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Before you jump into it, so you have a rough idea of what you're getting yourself into financially.
Yes. And not everything even has to be perfect. All the stars don't even have to align, which is not even what you were saying. But we're just trying to make it so that you guys are set up for success when you make the jump. And then these are things that we learned, things that worked for us, and so we wanted to share them with you. So when you start freelancing, you can hit the ground running and be as successful as you possibly can.
And of course, if you guys have questions, I do have a Slack group below. If you want to join it, there's hundreds of people from all over the world that if you are in a specific location and you have very specific location questions, you can jump in there and ask away. I'm sure somebody will answer them.
Yes, and we're both in there, and you can ask us questions as well if you have something specific.
But yeah, we hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to our channel below.
See you guys.